Hey everyone, Andrew, day 2 Dryden, recording here again for Pikachu MTG, and today we're going to be playing Burn in Modern, but not just any Burn, not like old school Burn, not even Burn from a few days ago. We're playing Burn with our brand new tool, Skewer the Critics. I'm really looking forward to trying out this card. This is sort of the big, this is my real big bit of fun that we get to have today. I'm really interested in trying out this card. If you haven't checked it out yet, Pikachu and I did a video the other day going over some of the cards that we think might be able to make an impact in Burn in not Standard. That's the one format we didn't really talk about. We don't know that one as well, and there's a lot more cards that could be playable, but in the Eternal formats, in Pauper, Modern, Legacy, I think we mentioned Vintage at one point, but we we didn't really get into too much there. So if you're looking for Vintage content, don't go there for that. But we talked about these Ravnica Allegiance cards that can make a big splash. So in Modern, this is the big one. I think this is going to be probably a 4 of in most Burn lists and all those 3 formats I talked about. So if you haven't played with this card before, if you haven't seen it, it's basically a sorcery speed, 3 mana, 3 damage. Doesn't sound that great, right? We're not playing that. We're not even playing Lightning Strikes, which are instant speed, 2 mana and 3 damage. The nice thing about this one is that it's almost like Rift Bolt and Chain Lightning had a bit of a baby. This is the offspring of those 2 cards. So while it does cost 3 mana and deal 3 damage at sorcery speed, if the opponent has lost life this turn, and it's important to note that damage results in a loss of life, so you don't have to have a card like Bump in the Night, or some sort of like a life loss, like maybe more of a black effect to have that loss of life. If you damage the opponent, or if the opponent damages themselves, that damage will result in a loss of life. So that will trigger the spectacle cost for Skewer the Critics. So something to keep in mind. Now, if that happens, if the opponent's life total has gone down for whatever reason, maybe not for whatever reason, there might be a weird rules thing, but for damage or loss of life, this causes that, right? So like maybe some judges who watch the program are like, no, that doesn't count. Oh, okay, oh, right. So don't get me into too many little niche cases of the rules. But if the opponent's life total has gone down, generally speaking, I would imagine Spectacle will trigger, and you can cast this card for 1 mana. Now, if you have a turn where you're not hitting your opponent's life total, things aren't going for you very well. Things are not going very well for you. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm still waking up a little bit here. I woke up and I'm like, okay, we got to get this video done. I'm excited. Here we go. So, generally speaking, this is going to trigger a lot. This is more often than not going to cost 1 mana, not 3. And whenever you can deal 3 damage for 1 mana, that becomes something that we're very interested in, even at sorcery speed. And this is to any target as well. So creatures, players, planeswalkers, whatever you need to hit. You can't hit enchantments yet, unfortunately. Soon. Come on, Mark Rosewater. Give us mono red enchantment destruction. So, and this combos really well basically every other card in the deck, right? Like maybe you got 2 mana out or something like that, and maybe you've got like a Rift Bolt. Okay, suspend the Rift Bolt. Next turn comes off. You hit the opponent. You draw a land. Now you go 3 more Skewer the Critics right at their face, right? That becomes 12 damage out of nowhere. So the 1 mana cost is big. That's really, really big. And I really, really am interested in trying out this card. I think it's going to be fun. So the way I fit the card into the deck, because like I talked about with Pikachu, if you're going to put a card into this deck, you have to figure out what to take out, right? You can't just throw all this good stuff in and draw whichever pieces you want. You have to make some hard choices. So originally, in just this red-white build, I had 4 Skullcrack in the main deck, I believe. So we've taken 2 of those out. We still want all 4 effects, I'm pretty sure though. So we've put them in the sideboard. I also took out 2 light. I had 2 Lightning Helix in here as well. And I took those out, so that's how we fit these 4, excuse me, 4 Skewer the Critics in. One of those Lightning Helixes ended up in the sideboard. I haven't found room for the 4th yet. I'm not sure it's extremely important. I think you can get away with 2 or 3 of these effects. It's obviously really good in the mirror. That's one place you definitely want to see that, but or in like damage racing situations. But I think we can go with this. Excuse me. In addition to that, because this is the red-white version and I'm not running like a 3-mana sideboard card like I was the other day in Anger of the Gods, I'm okay going back down to 19 lands. So our mana base, again, I never want to have less than 10 fetch lands, just for fixing and you know, ability to turn on Searing Blaze and feed the Grim Lavamancer and things like that. Also, people could cut Grim Lavamancer from their list if they wanted to. I still like it. I still think it's a valuable piece, especially since I took a little bit of sideboard interaction out of my sideboard, like Searing Bloods, to make room for the stuff I want. So I still like it, 1 Lavamancer, but that's a flex slot. You could mess around with that if you want. Same with that 20th land slot. You could mess around with that if you want. But yeah, so we got our 10 fetch lands. You never want to have fewer than 2 Sacred Foundry or 2 you could have snow-covered mountains, or 2 basic mountains. I like to have 3 of each of these. There's enough paths and Field of Ruins and Ghost Quarters and things like that running around that I like to have 3 of each of these. But going up to a 4th Inspiring Vantage, likely cutting one of these Sacred Foundries is also that's also a fair decision that I wouldn't criticize anyone for. But this is just the way I kind of like it set up. There have been a few games in the last month or so where I've needed that 3rd Sacred Foundry in my deck, so I kind of like having that. In addition to that, our usual suite of Goblin Guides, Lava Spikes, Lightning Bolts, Monastery, Swift Spear. We still have the 2 Skullcracks in the main deck. We, of course, can't leave home without our Eidolon of the Great Revel. Wow, okay. I hope my mouth wakes up sooner because I hope my mouth clearly hasn't woken up yet this morning. I do have my coffee here, but hopefully my brain has woken up. I don't want to be making too many bad misplays on camera. Okay. Anyway, and of course, Searing Blaze. You can get away with this. Can't get away without this in things like Legacy, where there's as many creatures, but Modern is a very creature-heavy format, so you can't leave home without your Searing Blazes. They're absolutely fantastic. Boros Charms, still running 4 of them, and of course still a couple of Lightning Helix in here. Makes us less dependent on white mana. That's something else I've actually thought about now. In some of those land destruction, Blood Moon kind of decks. That is one nice thing as well. Oh, that's another nice thing. We actually have a little bit more play with colorless mana. Sorry. Yeah, no, generic mana. For anyone who's seen me get Spreading Seized out by Nikachu before, we now have 3 different cards in the main deck that we can use that generic blue mana for to still cast our spells. You don't really want to be casting this for 3, let's be honest, but I mean, the fact that it adds a little bit more play to that is nice. So that's the main deck. Over to the sideboard, if we're not running green, we don't have Destructive Revelry, but we do still want to be able to answer artifacts. So we got 3 Smash to Smithereens. A new card I talked about last series that I don't actually know quite how good it is yet, is Rending Volley. So the main reason for this is the Is It Phoenix decks that are running around. The Thing in the Ice and the Crackling Drakes, or maybe some of them are running Enigma Drakes. I don't know if it's a budget option or whatever, but basically the Drakes and the Thing in the Ice. This thing is a fantastic answer to it. Actually, this even gets around things like Chalice or like even just general counter spells, because this spell can't be countered. 1 red mana, instant speed, 4 damage, but it has to be to a blue or white creature. So again, I'm not running Searing Bloods in my sideboard right now, but this is still fantastic against humans. It's still great against merfolk. It's still great against like there are a lot of blue and white creatures in the game, surprisingly. So most of the decks I'm worried about, this can answer, or things like Smash to Smithereens or Path to Exile can answer it if Rending Volley can't. So I like Rending Volley. I don't know if 3 is the right number. I actually don't even know if any of them is the right number, but I do like this as a neat sort of sideboard tech against those Is It Phoenix, Is It Drake decks. Still have that 1 Lightning Helix on the sideboard. Without as many skull cracks in the main deck, this might be overthinking it, but I did think to myself, you know, Dredge is pretty popular and pretty powerful with Creeping Chill. Yeah, I was saying Crippling Chill, I think, in a video series last time. So it's Creeping Chill that they're playing with now. In addition to the 2 Rest in Peace, I did want the 1 Relic. I didn't want to have a 3rd Rest in Peace because if I'm drawing multiple of these sideboard effects, I would like to be able to cycle this one and turn it into a different card. Rest in Peace is already doing obviously a lot of work just on its own if it's on the battlefield. Still 2 Skullcracks, and then of course Path to Exile. Deal with anything that Rending Volley can't. Tassigurs, Gurmag Anglers, Core Firewalkers, Auriok Champions, gigantic Scavenging Oozes, Tarmogoyfs, yada yada yada, right? So it actually might even better now that I'm thinking about it. I'm not going to change it yet, but it might be better to go 4 Paths and maybe 2 Rending Volleys if you wanted to hedge your bets a bit there. But I haven't played this list yet, so hopefully this works out. But oh, and one quick thing, we're going to get to our matches right away. But if you did want to build a red, white, and green list with Skewer the Critics and these new cards, this is what I would go with. Everything's pretty much the same. Actually, this is slightly different. You know what? I'm going to change this around. Oh, okay. All right, I'm looking at this again now, and I would change this around slightly. I would add another Skullcrack and take out a Lightning Helix. I would probably, yeah, you know what? So here, we're going to do this. So we're going to, hold on. I'm going to do this right now. Going to move to deck. Going to move to sideboard. There we go. Okay, so that's probably how I would do it. So instead, however, and I haven't tested this yet, but if you wanted to try a deck out this week, what I would do is I would take out your Destructive Revelries and I would try 4 copies of this Cindervines card. There are some situations where it isn't better than Revelry, but I think overall it has more play to it, and it's a bit more of a proactive rather than reactive strategy, which in Burn we do like. So again, if you want to hear some of my thoughts on this card, check out that video with Nikachu. But I do like this card. The other thing that a viewer pointed out in a few videos, which I never thought of, and you know what, maybe it's too crazy, maybe it's not actually a good idea, but it sounds really smart to me. So still 19 lands in the deck. But if this Cindervines or Revelry, if that's what you're playing, is the only green card in the deck, then I thought, well, you know what, let's put a Stomping Ground in the sideboard instead of having it be a 20th land in the main deck here, because really that's sort of what these are doing, right? They're sort of feeding each other, and then it allows the main deck to be a bit more tight, and I don't mind running 19 lands. 19 lands, it's been proven now, is obviously your percentages are going to change, but it's perfectly acceptable to run 19 lands in this type of a list with Burn, and you could even make an argument that the average mana cost has been reduced, since Skewer the Critics is sometimes going to cost 1. So you've actually reduced your curve overall, I think. So this is if you were going to play a list with green this week, this is sort of where I would start with, something like this. But obviously to each their own. And you know, hey, what do I know? I'm just some guy with a YouTube. I'm just some guy with a camera and a microphone. At any rate, hopefully you enjoyed the deck tech. Hopefully you're excited for Skewer the Critics. If anyone thinks this card is bad, well, I got news for you. You have a chandelier and a Newtonian experiment waiting for you. So I'm going to see you in round 1. This has been Andrew, day 2 Dryden, talking about Red, White, Burn with new tech in Skewer the Critics. Okay, here we go. So we're in round 1 and we're on the play in our competitive league with Skewer the Critics. We don't have a Skewer the Critics in our hand. And this is one of those dicey hands that that I've seen before, right? Those one-landers. I'm going to keep this hand because we're on the play. We have double Goblin Guide, and we can even cast a Rift Bolt. So we might be in some trouble here. And we have both colors of mana. This isn't even just a basic mountain. So yeah, this hand needs some help. We definitely want to draw a land. But, you know, like if this is Tron, even just going Goblin Guide, Rift Bolt might be enough to win. You know, something like that. So completely in the dark as to what the matchup is. I like this hand. I would keep this. I would keep this every time, but yeah, that's not to say this is unbeatable. So Let's get in. Let's see what we're up against. Why are we lagging here? There we go. Okay. Summoner's Pact. Okay, so this could be Titan, or this could be that Turbo Counters deck. The one that uses Devoted Druid and Vizier of Remedies. Nope, this looks like a Scape Shift deck. Scape Shift or Titan Shift or... Oh, no, okay, it's sorry, right. Or it could be this. This is Amulet Titan or whatever they want to, whatever name they want to give it to. Come on, land. They got an Amulet of Vigor on turn 1. Come on. That's not great. Okay, well, we got a race, and we got to hope to get lucky here. Yeah. Okay, so we drew him 2 cards. Well, that's just fantastic. Alright. Well, they got turn 1 Amulet of Vigor. Let's see how stupid this is going to get. We might just get smashed here. Although, truth be told, even with the second land, it might have been tough. It would have been nice to have a second land to be able to hold up like a lightning bolt or something, although I would have even done that. I don't think I would have even done that. I think I would have probably suspended a Rift Bolt, because if they play Azusa, you know, you can't respond. Oh, actually, that's not true. I could respond to the first... Oh my god. I could respond to the first land because it'll have a trigger, but... yeah, oh man. Alright. And they can Summoner's Pact as well. So, how does this work? Do they... I think they only get 4 mana off of this. Without, like, an Azusa or an Explorer or something. But they can do stuff. So yeah, I mean, like, best case scenario, we'd be putting them to, what, 11? Putting them to 7 next turn. Just from a Rift Bolt and a couple of Goblin Guides. It's pretty good. An Eidolon would have been good too, actually, if we had had one of those and been able to drop that on turn 2, right? We would have got him for at least 4 from that by now. Yeah, sure, Ancient Stirrings. And they have a Grove of the Burn Willows in their hand. Okay. So if they don't have an Explorer or an Azusa, we might be not just dead. But we're in pretty big trouble here. Summoner's Pact, okay. Oh, right, because they can pact for the Azusa. They don't need to pact for the Titan. They can pact for Azusa, and then, okay, yeah. So if they have a Titan in their hand, now we're in pretty big trouble. Oh boy. Oh boy. How is this? Look, I get it. I know, like, this is, you know, how do I put it? Like, I know this deck can fizzle, or like, I could have had maybe a counter spell or something. Maybe I'm playing a blue deck and I've got Spell Pierce up for this first Amulet of Vigor or something, but, like, come on. Fast mana and 0-costed spells. That is how things get broken. Mox Opal, Summoner's Pact, Amulet of Vigor. These are the devils that we live with. Alright, so I assume you must have a Primeval Titan, right? Otherwise, what are you doing? You're wasting our time here. Yeah, there's the prime time. Okay, so if anyone hasn't seen this deck go off, well, here we go. I don't know if I'm just dead, because I don't think the Primeval Titan is enough to kill me right from 21. But I could be wrong. It's going to hit me for a lot, though. Whatever, I'm just going to... F6, I can't do anything. So, yeah, so what's going to happen is they're going to get a couple of lands. they're going to be able to give this Primeval Titan haste and pump it up and double strike. So I'm probably getting hit for at least 16 here. Which means if I had drawn that second land, it's not impossible that I would have been able to win by turn 3. But I would have had to have a very specific draw. But as it is, I'm thinking we should... if you don't want to just see this deck go off and see quite how it's going to kill me, I suggest you just go to the next game because, yeah, this game is over. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to untap again. I think I'll get one more turn after taking 16 damage, but we'll see here. Oh, they didn't give it double strike. Oh, no, yeah, right, they will now. Right, because the Primeval Titan will attack, and then it will get the lands, which will then give it double strike. Yeah, so this is fun stuff. But Andrew, they can't just give you more bolts. What? That's crazy. Screw the Critics is overpowered. Really? Well, even with the most busted of draws, Screw the Critics is not dealing 16 damage to anybody on turn 2. Wow. Yeah. Like, I might get Nika to just edit this out. Like, I know I'm dead, but I honestly do think people might want to see this combo happen. So if you haven't seen it before, if you have, yeah, you should probably skip ahead now. I don't want to tell people to do that because I don't know, it has kind of a defeatist attitude, which I don't like. But I mean, what am I supposed to do to this? Yeah, no blockers. Thanks for making sure I can't click through it, Moto. Hey, here's a question, if anyone is still watching. Why do they call it Moto? Where did the D come from? Magic Online Dunked-Ons? Is that what is that what this format is that what this program is all about? Okay, do we even try? Do we have any potential lines to victory? This thing has double strike, so we can't even block and kill it. And it has trample as well, of course. I don't have 2 bolts in my hand. I only have 1. Again, if this Rift Bolt had come off suspend this turn, oh no, they have 7 cards in hand. They have it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna concede. Go to the next game. Okay, so what do we want to deal with this deck? Lots of fun. What do they bring in? This is I haven't played against this deck in a while. Okay, well, we definitely want Smash Smithereens. And we definitely... Do we want Path? Path could be a good answer. It gives them another land, but, like... I'm pretty sure they win with, like, Primeval Titans. So, like, Path of Primeval Titan. Seems like a good play. Eidolon can be good, especially on the play. I don't know if we need Skullcrack or not. That's the problem. I'm not super familiar with how this deck sideboards. I think I want to take out Lightning Helixes. And here, I think this is what I want to do. I think I want to take out Helixes. And I think I want to add in Paths. And here, let me check quickly. Decks. Metagame. Modern. Okay, hopefully it's on here. I don't have to like go looking for it too hard. Amulet Titan. Yeah. Okay, so what kind of sideboard cards are they running? Okay, they've got Ballista, Trinket Mage, Pact of Negation. Oh, they're running a Pact of Negation usually in the main deck. Okay. Cavern of Souls, Engineers Explosives. Okay, so they are running some number of counter spells. Okay, well that's good to know. Spell pierced. Okay, nothing too bad. So a little bit of counter magic. I'm at 64 cards right now. Lava Man. No, Lavamancer's not great. I have enough other removal. If they have an Azusa or something. This doesn't even kill Azusa. It kills the Sakura Tribe Scout and stuff like that, but whatever. Right, there's nothing else that... Oh, yeah. No, I didn't see any life gain cards. So, I mean, they could be running them, but we'll get those out of there. And what else isn't amazing? What else isn't amazing? We want creatures. We want to be able to race. I have to hurry up here. We want these. Maybe I could cut an Eidolon. I could cut one Eidolon. Yeah, okay, I'll cut one Eidolon. But I don't want to see more than one of those in the matchup. It's just not quite enough here. Play first, yes. See, then we got one of them anyway. I don't want to see a second one. This sounds great though. Yep. It could be better. I would prefer if I had a Smash the Smithereens in my hand. But what are you gonna do? Something I was a little bit cavalier with in the last series was shocking unnecessarily. There were reasons for it. It kind of really only played around like if I top decked an Inspiring Vantage. That being said, it is still a possibility, but against decks without Ghost Quarters and things like that, it's not a big deal. So I'm definitely going to not open with this Sacred Foundry. Actually, one nice thing, I mean, it changes the sideboard a heck of a lot, but one nice thing about the Skewer the Critics, making it easier for us to run mono red, is we could hypothetically, in some world, in some really messed up metagame, play Blood Moon. Blood Moon would be a good sideboard card against this deck, I think. I mean, they'll have answers for it, probably. But, okay, our opponent went down to 5 cards. They can still, like, turn 1 us, I think. Or maybe, yeah, well, they used to be able to. I don't know if they can anymore. This takes a while to get out, and if they play a creature turn 1, I'll want to answer it. I don't know if they run Simian Spirit Guides anymore. I don't think so. When this deck was really busted, back when I think Summer Bloom was still legal, it did stuff like that. You just win on turn 0. Or turn 1. Just insane. I got the Amulet. Well, that's going to make our life harder. Really want to top deck a Smash the Smithereens. Really, really, really would love that. It's okay. This is going to do almost nothing on future turns, probably, so we want to get this Eidolon out. Hopefully we don't die, and then we can untap and deal them some damage. So hopefully they need to do a little bit of searching. Hopefully we get maybe an Ancient Stirrings or 2. Yeah. I mean, they had to mulligan to 5. I'm not happy to see a turn 1 Amulet of Vigor, but, you know, sometimes they just have it, right? Like, what do you do? I think it made sense to keep that hand in game 1, and I don't know, just the way this deck works, there's nothing I could do about it. So, I won't be too annoyed with our opponent here, thinking this through. There are some difficult lines for this deck. I forget which pro it was, but it was a few months ago. One of them was one of them had like a sample hand, or maybe it was even a board state, but it was definitely a hand of cards. And they said, you know, how do you sequence this to win this turn or something? And it wasn't easy to think through. You really had to, like, wait, and you know, there's no takebacks on the online clients here. So once you cast that spell, it's on the stack. It's not coming back off. I don't have any Vencers to to bounce it back to the hand with. Maybe they're also calculating the... Oh, opponent said sorry. 1 sec. Yeah. No prob. Okay. Maybe they're deciding on bolting this Eidolon or something. Maybe they've got some way to deal with it. They don't run bolts. I think they run a braid, but why am I? Yeah, I'm tapped out. F6. But a braid does kill our Eidolon. It definitely does do that. So maybe that's a thing. Oh, that's an option as well. Okay. That's fine. I'm happy with that. That slows you way down. If you're spending that much mana and time to just deal with this Eidolon, and it'll end up dealing you 4 damage. At least 4 damage. That's fantastic. Okay, look, I get it. On your turn, take all your time, but like, let me draw my card. Thank you. Thank you. Nothing else to do. Yeah, alright, so let's go smashy smashy. So I don't really need to count this part out. This part's really self-explanatory. One thing I should think about is if I want to Boros Charm or use some of my other 1-mana spells. I think what I'm going to do is hold up Boros Charm. Hypothetically, I might use it to save the Eidolon. Yeah, either way, I'm holding up this Boros Charm. But if I don't use it to save the Eidolon, I'll cast it. That'll put them to 9. And then if I draw a land, I can just deal 9 damage. That's kind of cool. So what happens if I... So if I use the Boros Charm to save my Eidolon... Oh, and they're just passing? Oh. I was assuming they were just going to do this main phase and then try to, like, cast something else afterwards. Oh, okay, so this has put me in a tough spot. So I need to make this decision now. So... that means that... yeah, I'm just going to do this then. Yeah, they can't counter any spells. I'm just going to do this, and if I draw a land, I win. That's good. That's good by me. I like that. And they probably have to blow this up now. Or they'll have to do it before I attack. If I get to untap and attack with this thing, like, again, that's fine. I get another 2 damage. That'll put them to 7. Again, that's not quite lethal with the cards I have in my hand. So that's a bit frustrating. I really kind of just need to draw a land. Yeah. But hey, if I get to go like bolt, bolt, bolt for 1 mana, that'd be a pretty good way to have Skewer the Critics make its debut. Do we get there? Do we get to see Skewer? Hey! That's awesome. Cool. Skewer the Critics. Just giving me mono 3 damage for 1 mana. That's awesome. I love that. Cast with Spectacle. Oh yeah, this is a spectacle if I've ever seen one. Awesome. Nice. And I'm going to call it right now. That's going to be the Nikachu MTG Get Dunked On Instant Replay. That's fantastic. All right. So, hey, something to think about, too. Like, if that Skewer the Critics had been a Skullcrack, we wouldn't have been able to win there. Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to do it. At least we would have given them at least 1 more turn. I don't know if they would have done anything. They mulled to 5. They were clearly having a little bit of trouble. But okay, so on the draw, I like Eidolon a little bit less. But, I mean, like, what am I going to put in instead? right? Like, Lavamancer's not great. It answers their small guys, but I have enough removal, I think, that I don't need to worry about that, right? I have enough answers to things. Well, you know what? I could replace the Eidolons with a Lightning Helix. I could do that. Right? Like, it's just not as good on the draw, right? Like they can win by turn 2. Like, we saw them do it in game 1. So, here, let me look at their lists again. But I'm pretty sure that we don't want Eidolon. Like, what 1-mana plays there? They've got... Yeah, they kind of ramp out pretty quick here, eh? Right? The Amulet of Vigor. I mean, I don't know. I mean, everything except the Primeval Titan or a larger Walking Ballista triggers it. But I also really need to be able to answer their early creatures. I guess that's what like things like this are here for. How many answers do I have on turn 2? If I deal damage, I've got 1, 2, 3. If I suspend this, 4. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to leave it as is then. I think this is the way to do it. I'm not positive, though. I haven't tested this matchup enough to know for sure. It's possible that Eidolon is better than Helix. It's possible that it's the other way around. If you have an opinion on that, I would like to hear it in the comments section. If we draw another land, this hand is really good. I believe I said that in game 1 too. They kept 7 cards. Oh, that probably means they've got an Amulet. So is the Smash of Smithereens worth keeping? Even... Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm stretching. Even... Well, hey, we've got the Smash of Smithereens. We can't just not keep it. What would I want to draw that this hand doesn't have, aside from a second land? Like, what spell am I looking for that this doesn't have? Maybe a Path, but that's about it. Yeah, no, I got to keep this hand. No, I want to draw a land, but outside of that, I mean, like, and I've got 4 spells I can cast. They kept a 7-land or a 7-card hand. So they're obviously going to have probably a pretty strong draw. Yeah, man, all 3 games on turn 1. I mean, I understand. Game 2, they had to mulligan to 5, but come on. Hey, we drew that land, though. At least there's that. So... Oh, do I hold up a Bolt for like an Azusa? How's this go? They play a land, they untap it, they play Azusa. They play a land, they untap it, I can Bolt it then. It gives them 2 mana. That gives them an Azusa and 2 mana. Honestly, I think I need to hold up against any really busted starts. I think I need to hold up a Lightning Bolt. As frustrating as that is, I think I just need to hold up a Lightning Bolt. And if, you know, nothing too terrible happens, then I can try to smash this next turn. But who knows? Maybe they just play a second one. That would be... yeah, Ancient Stirrings, that happens. That happens. You get to play another one. Wow. So, even if I had gone Goblin Guide Attack... yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Double Amulet of Vigor. It's hard to... It's hard to compete with that. Yeah. If that's all they do, then I don't know. Maybe we've got a chance here, but... I gotta use my mana. Well, if they can't just win, we are gonna unload. We are gonna unload spells. But I don't like our odds, to be perfectly honest. So what happens next turn? Let's say I draw a land. Depending on what they do. Probably go Goblin Guide, Swift Spear, Suspend, or Rift Bolt, and then try to win the following turn. So I'm at least like 2 turns away from being able to win. So if they just have things like Ancient Stirrings or whatnot in their hand, I might be okay. Yeah, Teleria West. So that's going to find a Summoner's Pact. Which means they're going to... Oh, what? It's the one that gains life when it comes into play? Okay, well that makes me a little bit happier. Because... honestly, giving me turns is pretty good. Okay, well, hey, I thought we might just untap, or they might just untap and kill us. So we are absolutely just putting the pedal to the metal here. Let's get in. Let's try to win this game. Oh, great, Summoner's Pact. Okay, well, that doesn't leave me to think that things are going to go well. Okay, so next turn, what are we dealing? We spike, attack, assuming they don't put a Primeval Titan out in front of us. Well, they play this Crossroads. They gain 2 life, so they go to 13. Well, I mean, whatever. Let's see what happens, because, yeah, they're going to play Azusa here, so... yeah, I mean, they have 6 cards in hand. It could be amazing, or they, could have... Oh, hey, look at that! Azusa's only 2 toughness. I thought it was 3. Grim Lavamancer would kill it. I still don't think I want it in this matchup, but, I mean, whatever. So... if they don't have, like, an Ancient Stirrings to find another Amulet, this might be okay, but... 4 mana is nothing to sneeze at. And they are doing it instead of the Crossroads, so it probably means they've got something to do with the mana. Or maybe they... I wasn't counting. Maybe they get to play 3 lands. Okay. All right. Well, there we go then. That's the... yeah. I was counting the 2 extra land drops Azusa gives them, not the original. I forgot about the original one they have too. So, yeah. Okay. So Primeval Titan's gonna come down and possibly just kill us. Sounds great. Maybe playing the Eidolon instead of these 2 creatures was the smart play. Eidolon would have dealt them 4 damage by now. But if they just kill us here, that won't matter. And I think they've got it, because we're at 16 life also. Which is, magically, the number that, a double striking Primeval Titan does. Wow. Well, I'll say this. My clock is at 18 minutes still, and theirs is at 8, so I can't feel guilty about playing this matchup slowly. Yep, there we go. That's too bad. I think if... yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they drew. I don't know what their hand was like, but... I think we had a good chance to win this game. This is a very strong deck. I mean, the double Amulet of Vigor was crazy, right? We destroyed the first one, but because they had a second one, it was just like, okay, well, I mean, what are you gonna do? I think it also shows though why Eidolon might not have been isn't great in this matchup. Um, like if that were a Lightning Helix instead, I mean, I guess I could have held it up. I guess I could have used it to try to sort of do what I did on turn 1 and try to kill Azusa at instant speed. Would have gained 3 life as well, so this might not have been lethal. But, you know, what was it? That was our turn 3. Like, by turn 3, I couldn't give them much more time, right? And looking for this, is it Cabria Crossroads? Kabira Crossroads? Made me feel as though, like, you know, that made me feel as though they didn't just have it, as though they felt they needed to get the life gain. So, anyway, GG's. Blah, blah, blah. All right, well, hey, you know what? We got a good showing from Skewer the Critics in Game 2, so at least there's that. That was nice, but we didn't get there this time. Either way, this opponent said sorry for the slow play. Well, Magic is hard. Learning how to play on a tablet, they said. Alright, well, alright. That makes... Oh, they didn't give it double strike. Oh, I'm not just dead. Oh. Oh. I mean, I'm probably just dead. Anyway. Okay, what do I even do here now? I assumed I was just dead. I was about to say, see you in the next round. I think I still am just dead, but now I actually have to double check. Okay, so this Primeval Titan's coming at me next turn. It's gonna have Vigilance, and it already has Trample, and it's gonna have +2/+0, and it's gonna get more... Oh, man, if I had like 2 bolts, that would be helpful. Okay, so what happens if I just play out the Eidolon and throw everything in front of this Primeval Titan? What happens then? What happens if I attack in? Yeah, I got K. Oh, there's so many ways I'm trying to not die here. And I can't even just win. If I had a 3rd mana, I could maybe... No, even then I would... Well, no, then I could get 7 damage out of this Spike and Boros Charm. But I doubt they'd block. Okay, yeah. You wait for me now, opponent, because I waited for you, so let's be polite. Okay, so I attack in, they block. Does that do anything? Let's say I give it double strike, so it becomes a 2/2. No, I can't do that. That's not enough. I would need to have a 3rd. If I lava spiked and then attacked in and gave it double strike, that would be enough to kill the Primeval Titan, assuming they even blocked that way, so I can't do that. Same thing. And I don't have any instant speed removal or anything. Or anything that can target a creature this turn, because the Rift Bolt takes a turn to come down. So if you go Spike, Spike, that puts them to 5. If you go Spike, Spike, that puts them to 5. And then if they don't block, they die. But I mean, do we play for that? I guess we could. Okay, so let's say we attack in, they don't make any blocks. What does a Boros Charm do? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not enough. What does dropping an Eidolon and just throwing everything in front of the Titan do? It'll probably have double strike, so everything dies. If they don't give it double strike... Okay, I think that's the only line. I think the only line that possibly wins, if our opponent messes up, is if I throw out the Eidolon, I put the Eidolon in front of the Titan, and then, I don't know, maybe next turn I can draw something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the only line that doesn't just lose. But if the opponent knows what they're doing, then, I mean... And, then, yeah. Okay. Oh, I forgot about this! They do have enough to pay for it. Of course they do. Yeah. I forgot about the double Summoners Pact. This is when Spreading Seas would be... Oh, wait. Oh, they tapped wrong! I think they paid for it wrong. What a ridiculous game. Oh no. Oh man. Oh, the opponent says, I guess that's why people shouldn't concede. Oh man. Okay. What? Alright. That's gonna be the second of this match. Nikachu, MTG, get dunked on. That's gonna be a double dunked on instant replay. Wow. All right. You know, I don't even know. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. Blessings of Perforos be upon us or something. Wow, that's crazy. Well, you know what? Good job on our opponent. And, wow. I got nothing else to say. Hope you enjoyed the match. Skewer the Critics got us to Game 3, and then our opponent learning how to play this on a tablet also probably contributed to us getting there. So this has been Andrew, Day 2 Dryden. I'll see you next time.